those kicks. Good grief.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Chris Whitmire, Managing Director of Communications for the United States Tennis Association. I want to take a moment and thank everybody for being here for this special day. We have a number of special guests, as you can see. So without further ado, we're going to get this program started, and I'm going to introduce Mr. Brett Haber, tennis supporter and Tennis Channel.
Thank you, Chris. Good to see everybody. Good afternoon. Welcome to the JTCC. As Chris said, I'm Brett Haber from Tennis Channel. I'm also a very proud Maryland resident and a guy who's known Francis since he was a wee lad growing up on these courts, and I'm also very proud to be an ambassador for the JTCC. Being from around here, I am very, very familiar with the great work that the JTCC does in the community. The program absolutely embodies the spirit of tennis as they train the next generation of one of the best tennis facilities in the country and anywhere around the world. This is the exact mission of the USTA Foundation and the work that they do for kids in communities all across the country, bringing tennis and education together to provide opportunities for kids that may not have had one. We see this tradition continuing here at the JTCC every day, and we're very proud to have Francis be a leader in the continuation of this mission. You may not know this, but when the tournament that's now known as the City Open or the Mubadala City DC Open was founded more than 50 years ago, the organizers asked the great Arthur Ashe to get involved, and they asked Arthur to make a long-term commitment to play in the tournament every year to try to grow its popularity fast. And Arthur said yes, but he said yes on one condition, and that condition was that the tournament be placed in a part of DC where people who looked like him could have access to it in a way that they haven't had or hadn't had before. That was accomplished. That's where the tournament has been for over 50 years, and because of Arthur's commitment, his insistence on that, DC has become the most inclusive and diverse tennis community on the planet, and we are so proud that Francis is taking the next step in the evolution of the journey that Arthur started more than 50 years ago. And so with that idea as a backdrop, I am so happy and proud to be here on this day to announce the creation of the USTA's Foundation's Francis Tiafoe Fund. Francis, as you know, grew up on these courts and at this facility, molding his personality and his ability on the court and his character off the court into the man that he is today. And Maryland, aren't we so proud of the man that he's become? Francis continues to prove that tennis is a sport that can change lives for the better, and today you'll hear from three people who embody that commitment to the sport of tennis. So I'd like to start by introducing the head of philanthropic partnerships for the USTA Foundation. Join me in welcoming Jeffrey Harrison.
Thank you, Brett, for your amazing words, and Francis and your family, thank you for being here. On behalf of the USTA Foundation, we are thrilled to join forces with Francis Tiafoe and his family to create the Francis Tiafoe Fund. The USTA Foundation supports tennis and education programs just like the JTCC around the country in 270 communities just like here in Prince George's County. Through Francis and his vision, we will be able to affect hundreds of thousands of lives through support, financial literacy, capacity building, additional coaching, after-school tutoring, homework help. We're going to help build a child under Francis's vision. To me, what's very special about Francis is most athletes think of their legacy and giving back after their playing career is done. In any sport, Francis is talking about his legacy and giving back while he's in the prime of his career. He understands this platform he has over the next 10, 15 years as he's winning championships, that he's a role model for kids across the country, particularly at NJTLs and communities that support his vision. It's a huge testament to mom, dad, brother that are here today, the people you keep around you, Matt and Jill and Mark, just some really special people in your life. Francis was working out with his hitting partners, some of his old coaches. When he's here, this is home for him. And so thank you all for having the vision for the Francis Tiafoe Fund. I'm also thrilled to announce the USTA Foundation will provide a grant to the Francis Tiafoe Fund for $150,000 today. And one of Francis's partners, Cliff Bar, will join us with a grant of $100,000. Thank you, Cliff Bar. And there are plenty of Cliff Bars to be had today, so please grab a Cliff Bar and support a great partner in this fund. So we're starting today's fund with $250,000. This will help change lives under Francis's vision and the USTA Foundation. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your support, and we couldn't be more excited to join you together, Francis.
Jeffrey, thank you. Well said. What a great way to start this foundation with such a profound investment. The next person I want to introduce is someone that is well known to everybody at this facility. I was trying to go over his accomplishments and his resume. It's too long to detail. He is the Pied Piper of tennis on the East Coast. He is the CEO of this organization, the JTCC, and he has spent his life building programs that benefit not just the children of this community, but communities like it around the country. Would you please, JTCC, give a warm welcome to the man, Ray Benton. Woo!
Thank you, Brett. I was going to say something about welcome to the first 100-degree day we've had in Washington, and because of that, we decided to have the press conference at 1 o'clock. Thank you for being here. Actually, I could not be happier to participate in today's announcement. Francis is starting his own foundation, which is so appropriate because he's been helping people his whole life. Francis is very generous by nature, and his DNA dictates that he makes people happy and helps those in need. From a very early age, Francis was the first one to volunteer to hit with younger kids and encourage everyone around him. When he became a junior superstar, he made himself available for advice and autographs. And now that he's a professional superstar, I can report that nothing has changed. He's always anxious to help others. At JTCC, we're very proud of our culture of giving back. We understand that tennis is an individual sport with many values. Our players here at JTCC learn to be self-sufficient. They learn to be instant problem solvers. They learn how to compete, how to win, and how to lose. But we also understand that tennis is a very self-centered activity, and we're very careful to make sure that our young tennis players don't become self-important. We make sure that this doesn't happen, as our players are required to work in our NJTL inner-city outreach programs, in our veterans programs. They work with Special Olympians and wheelchair players. Needless to say, Francis is the epitome of this attitude. He learned this from his parents as a young boy, and I'd like to acknowledge his parents, Elfina and Constant, who taught him these core values. And with us is his father, Constant, and his brother, Franklin. From a personal standpoint, I feel that my own life has come full circle today. The USTA Foundation operates the NJTL across the country. The NJTL was founded by Arthur Ashe, and I had the honor of being the first national director of NJTL. So to complete the story, in 2020, Francis was awarded the ATP Arthur Ashe Humanitarian Award, and today he's announcing his support of Arthur's vision of the NJTL. Thank you. We couldn't be more pleased to enter into this partnership with Francis and the USTA Foundation. Francis will work with the USTA Foundation to help NJTL chapters across the country. At JTCC, we will work with Francis with the new funding to maximize the impact of tennis here in Prince George's County. This is a big win for young tennis players all around the country, and we're thrilled to be part of this program. And once again, thank you, Francis, And thank you, USTA Foundation.
All right, that brings us to the feature attraction. And by the way, it's fitting that it's this hot today because Francis thrives in these conditions when other players wilt. He seems to get stronger. I could list his credentials as well, and we'll do so briefly, but you know them. He is now the number 10 ranked player in the world. He just won his third career ATP singles titles on the grass in Stuttgart, Germany, one of the key lead-ups to Wimbledon. To break into the top 10 is an achievement that is very, very rare and very, very coveted. I met him 10 years ago on these courts when he was a 15-year-old skinny Marink. Folks, he is not skinny anymore. He is a powerhouse. He is one of the most joyful athletes I've ever had the pleasure to witness. But even more than his accomplishments between the lines, you should know that 2 years running, he's been nominated for the ATP Sportsmanship Award because he is as much about character as he is about performance. Ladies and gentlemen, Maryland's own Francis Tiafoe.
Hey guys. Really appreciate everybody coming out here and supporting me today on such a big day. Something that's means so much to me, something I've wanted to do for so long. Obviously, I'm a product of JTCC and the NGTL network, and to see what I was able to do with it, just a kid having a chance. I've been thinking about creating a foundation for a very long time now, and learning about the USTA Foundation mission to bring tennis and education for kids to have a chance, specifically people who look like me, to do something great. It's not always about trying to be a pro, but going out, getting a full scholarship, whatever tennis brings you. It can take you so many different places. Met so many people through the game of tennis, and yeah. And then lastly, I just want to thank my family. Thank Greg, JTCC, and everyone else who's had even 1% of helping me to become the man I am today. And I think the biggest thing I want to tell all the young people who look up to me is it's about the person you are first and the athlete second. You want to be remembered for who you are and not what you've done. So thank you guys, and let's do something special with this thing. Thank you.
You're here.
Well, again, thank everybody for coming, especially under these conditions. That ends the formal announcement. What I am going to do right now, though, is set up some very quick photos here. We have a tented area for a little bit of shade for media one-on-ones, which will follow this very quick photo op. And then Francis will be interacting with the kids on the court behind me to the right for a fun tennis clinic. So first, if I could get all the principals in the front.